Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer 1514-633 louver door, double acting, spring hinge, light duty, Mortise type in a satin brass finish. So the Bommer 1540 is representative of the fact that this is a double acting hinge. Okay. The door leaf, which is this one here, gets mortised to the edge of the door, so the door would occupy the pocket inside of here, right in here. The 633 means that it is in the satin brass finish. Okay. Below this video is a guideline in terms of the door size and door weight that you would be using this with, along with a link to the template and to the instructions. Okay, let's go over all that now. So this hinge, first and foremost, is going to be for doors up to about 18 pounds. If you're dealing with a pair of these, 18-pound doors, so light, and they're called louver door because typically you would hang cafe doors, louver, smaller louver doors that might separate a general, like I've seen them in department stores where they've got the sales area and then they've got the back of the house area, and sometimes they could be separated by a pair of louver doors, like you would see. That would be, 50 inches tall, whatever the height might be, 4 foot tall, relatively light because they'd be pine and very thin. And louver. Minimum door height is 38 inch. Maximum door width is 18 inch. So this again is for a small door up to 18 pounds. It's completely non-handed. We'll go over that in a moment. Okay. The link below this video to the template gets into all of the physical dimensions. So it's a partial technical drawing of the item. Okay. And I won't beleaguer all those points here now, except to say that, the frame leaf is 2 inch. Give you a general idea of what, and I'm looking at the template over my shoulder. 2 inch height on the frame leaf. Okay. Overall height is 2 and 15/16. And you can review the drawing for the rest of the dimensions. Looking at the rest of the template, however, let's talk about a very important aspect of this hinge. The upper right hand corner shows the sizing information of the door, okay, when using this hinge. Looking at the left hand side of the door of that drawing, you see that there is, when you are mortising this leaf to the door, to the edge of the door, okay, and that mortise is 0.187, which is 3/16 of an inch, you would have a 1/16 of an inch margin between the edge of the door and the frame. So you would make a 3/16 deep preparation in the door, and that would allow you a 1/16 of an inch margin between the door and the frame. If you surface mount this leaf, which you can do, you are then going to be left with a 1/4 inch or 0.250 inch between the frame and the edge of the door. Depending on all of that information is going to give you the B clearance or the B dimension. You can see that the minimum clearance for this 1514 hinge on a square edge door is going to be a 1/4 inch. If you radius the door edge over, you curve the door edge over, you'd be at 0.125, which is 1/8 of an inch. So that B dimension, that number you're going to know based on, well, that number is going to be fixed. So when determining the size of the door or the inside opening of your frame, you're going to know certain things. You might already have the frame, and let's say that that is 18 inches wide, you're going to know that you need either a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 of an inch, depending on square edge or radiused edge door on the side opposite the hinges, and then you'll be able to determine whether or not you're mortising this leaf. Okay? So if you mortise the leaf, then you've got a 1/16 of an inch to allot, and if you're not, then you make it a 1/4 inch. So let's go through one example. You've got an 18-inch wide opening, you've got a square edge door, and you're not going to mortise the hinge. That would be the easiest way to go. You would take 18-inch, you'd add a 1/4 inch for the hinge allotment, you'd take another 1/4 inch for the square edge requirement on the other side, and that would put you at an 18.5-inch frame opening. You could go the other way around. Say you had a 16-inch frame opening, okay, and your door was also 16-inch, and you were going to have to plane the door down to fit your frame. You were going to mortise it, and you were going to radius it. You would take 16-inch, I think was our example, less a 1/16 for the mortised side of the hinge, less an 1/8 of an inch, so that your door size would be 15 and 13/16. That's what your net door size would be. If you have any questions on that, let me know. Reach out. We'll go over it. Thickness of the door is 7/8 to 1 inch. That's very important that you know that you're dealing with a door only that thick. There's a link also below the video to the instructions, and the instructions are kind of generic in the sense that they show them for the 15-14, and the 15-15, which are only marginally different. And then also the hold open version of each. And you can see the mortising required there, and we've kind of already gone over that. But now setting the tension on the hinge is the next thing to know. Okay, you're always going to turn on the right-hand side of the instruction. Okay, you're going to always turn the tension collar, which are these two collars that have the holes in it, clockwise when the tension collar is pointed towards the top of the door. And as you do that, you turn it clockwise. Let me start over here. When you turn it clockwise, you see that behind there you reveal additional holes. And it's into one of those holes, and by the way, this is called the tension rod. It's into one of those holes that you would insert a tension pin. There are 3 in this bag. Bommer typically, or not surprisingly, sends more pins than you need. It's just how they do it. It's very rare for someone to call and say they're short a pin. This hinge only needs 2, but in this bag there are 3, which would not be the correct way, but nonetheless there are 3. Into one of those new holes that you would reveal, you would insert one of those pins. Then you would do the same over here, clockwise again. I realize it looks opposite to you in the camera, but then over here you'd insert a tension pin. Then you'd have your tension set, and then you would adjust that based on this door, if it tips into the opening, how fast it opens and closes. Obviously, if you're going to do it this way, you would have to turn them, rotate those counterclockwise. Okay, tension collar should always be up. There'd be no reason not to have them up. But at that point, you're done. I mean, there's nothing else really to know. This hinge is available from Bommer in several different finishes. The 15-15 is similar, but for a thicker door. And the last thing I'd like to show you, other than the fact that screws are included in a complimentary finish. Okay, so that's very typical. All wood screws, tension rod, tension pins. Last thing I'd like to show you is the logo, and right above that it says "Made in USA." The fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I, to represent them. If you have any questions on the Bommer 1514-633 louver door, light duty double acting spring hinge, or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much.